A warm welcome to the new lecture on thermal engineering. So today we will be discussing on internal combustion engines, shortly known as IC engines. I hope all of you are familiar with the internal combustion engines which are commonly used in automobiles. So let us begin the session with fundamentals of thermodynamics related to the internal combustion engines. So what do you mean by a heat engine? It's a device which converts heat or thermal energy, okay, or the energy contained in a fuel in the form of chemical energy that will be burned and heat will be released. Fine. So the chemical energy in the fuel will be converted to thermal energy, and then that thermal energy will be converted to mechanical work using an IC engine, internal combustion engine. So why the name internal combustion engine? So the combustion will be taking place inside an engine, inside a cylinder or an enclosed region. The combustion will be taking place in an enclosed space. That's why the term internal combustion engine. So originally an engine was a mechanical device that converted force into motion. That was the original engine in ancient times. So military devices such as catapults are referred to as siege engines in older days. The term GIN in engine as in court engine is recognized as a short form of the old French word engine, E-N-G-I-N, engine. So in turn from the Latin ingenium related to ingenious. You know what ingenious, right? So this is related to a short history regarding the usage of engine. I'm sorry. So these are some of the uses of an engine, mainly in automobiles, whether it is road transport, water transport or air transport. We have to use an engine to produce some power, right? Then DG sets, diesel generator sets, for generation of electricity in emergency situations. In the case of power failure, you may have to employ diesel generators to produce power. Then for propulsion, ships, whether it is amphibious ship, warfare ships, patrol craft, tugboats, small boats, outboard motors, all this for propulsion purpose. These are the common, and to list a few uses of the engine. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, let us begin the discussion with some basic terminology associated with heat engines from thermodynamic point of view. So in any engine, it is simply a reciprocating device. There will be a cylinder and a piston reciprocating inside the cylinder. Piston is having a piston rod and a piston head. So as you can see here, there is a cylinder, a piston reciprocating up and down. In this particular diagram, there is a piston rod, piston, and the diameter of the cylinder is usually known as bore, okay, in meters. Then the limits of the movement of the piston are represented by top dead center or TDC and bottom dead center or BDC, and the distance between these two, the limit is known as torque in meters. usually represented by capital L, whereas bore is represented by capital B. Then there will be two valves in the case of common engines, four-stroke engines, intake valve and exhaust valve. Intake valve is meant to take in the fuel or fuel plus air mixture. Then exhaust valve is meant to expel out the combustion products from the cylinder. Okay, I hope it is clear. So the piston will be reciprocating between these limits, bottom dead center and top dead center. I'm sorry, just a minute. Yeah, and the valves will be operating according to the position of the piston. So it will be controlled by a camshaft. It is connected to the crankshaft. So there are two terminology again are represented, mentioned here: displacement volume and clearance volume. So the displacement volume is the maximum volume, that is volume of the air or whatever it is, which is displaced by the movement of the piston between the dead centers. When the piston moves from top dead center to bottom dead center, for example, the maximum volume could be accommodated within the cylinder. That is called displacement volume. So that will be simply the area pi by 4d square into this stroke L. That will be the displacement volume. Then clearance volume is the minimum volume inside the cylinder. You know that we can't make the volume to zero. That is not possible. Even though a gas is compressible, we can't make the volume to zero. So a minimum volume, that is called clearance volume. So this is a typical engine with all the drive mechanisms like gears, belt drives, pulleys, then all other systems, cooling lubrication system, manifolds, fans. So all the systems are included here. This is just for your understanding. This is how the engine looks like. Now the next terminology what we need to discuss is the compression ratio. What is the compression ratio? So it is usually compression means there will be some volume change, right? So maximum volume, ratio of maximum volume to minimum volume. You know the maximum volume, that is the displacement volume plus clearance volume. Minimum volume is the clearance volume. So when the piston is at bottom dead center, that is a maximum volume. When the piston is at top dead center, that is a minimum volume. So that ratio, the ratio between these two volumes is termed as compression ratio. Mean effective pressure, MEP. It is a fictitious pressure. It is a fictitious pressure. I will read out. If it operated on the piston during the entire power stroke. So you know that there are 4 strokes in a 4-stroke engine, that is intake, compression, power and exhaust. Okay, we will come to that later. So during the entire power stroke, the power stroke is the one during which we are getting power output from the engine as a result of burning of air fuel mixture inside the combustion chamber, that is inside the cylinder. We are getting the power, mechanical power during the power stroke. So this MEP mean effective pressure is a fictitious pressure that if it operated on the piston during the entire power stroke would produce the same amount of net work as that produced during the actual cycle. So here it is showing an actual cycle, PV diagram, pressure volume diagram. This is the actual cycle, not the theoretical one. Theoretical one will be having the straight lines or curved lines. So here you can see the edges are not sharp, it is curved, right? So this is an actual cycle. So actually the opening and closing of the valves, etc., will not be as predicted theoretically. There will be slight lag or lead. Okay, so the mean effective pressure is calculated based on this. So the mean effective pressure is the fictitious pressure that acted upon the piston head during the entire power stroke, which pressure would produce the same amount of net work as produced by the actual cycle. So enclosed region of the curves plotted on a PV diagram is the net work done or net heat transfer as per the first law of thermodynamics. If you don't remember all these things, please refresh your fundamentals on thermodynamic laws. The first law, so W net equal to Q net for a cycle. So here the equation for the W net is also given based on MEP. So net work is equal to mean effective pressure multiplied with piston area multiplied with stroke. Okay, or the stroke multiplied with the piston area pi by 4 d square, as we have discussed earlier. It is the displacement volume. So when you multiply mean effective pressure with displacement volume, you will get the net work done during the entire cycle. So you can have MEP as W net divided by change in volume, maximum volume to minimum volume. So it can be used, this mean effective pressure can be used as a parameter to compare the performance of reciprocating engines of equal size. It is a really good parameter to compare the performance of the engines of same size. The engine with a large value of MEP delivers more net work because it is directly proportional. MEP is directly proportional to W net. So larger MEP means larger power output. So it will be performing better, obviously. So reciprocating engines could be classified into two: internal combustion engine and external combustion engine. Fine. Example for external combustion engine is steam engine. Example for internal combustion engine is regular petrol engine, diesel engine. So these are the parts of an engine. You can see here. This one is will be intake valve, exhaust valve. So this is a cylinder, and the cut section is shown here. There is a piston. Okay, this is a piston. This is explode piston will be cylindrical in shape with piston rings on the top. Okay, and this hole is meant for connecting this connecting rod. There will be piston rod as well as connecting rod. Then the crankshaft, crankcase. Okay, then the exhaust valve. So these are the different parts of an engine, internal combustion engine. So we are not going to discuss about external combustion engine in this lecture. We are going to discuss internal combustion engine. Okay, I hope it is clear. These are the different parts, the exploded view of the engine. So you can see the animation of the working of an engine here. Intake, this is the intake valve, then so this is the working of reciprocating engine. So now let us classify the IC engine further. As I mentioned, we are not going to discuss on external combustion engine, only internal combustion engine will be discussed in this module. So internal combustion engine could be classified into two: spark ignition engine and compression ignition engine, based on how the ignition has begun inside the engine. How the ignition is started, or the burning of the fuel, how that burning is commenced inside the engine. Based on that, we can classify the IC engines, internal combustion engines, into two: spark ignition engines or SI engines, or compression ignition engines or CI engines. SI and CI engines. Then on both of these SI and CI engines, we have either 4-stroke or 2-stroke engines. So next session we will be covering Otto cycle and discussion on spark ignition engines. So let us stop for today. If you have any doubts, clarifications needed, please comment below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn the notifications on to get updates on new videos related to the mechanical engineering fundamental subjects. Share with your friends, those who are studying in other institutes also. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.